Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com recap of Monday Night Raw for December the 27th, 2021. This was the final episode of Raw for 2021. Quite a different Raw, at least from how things normally go behind the scenes. There were some positive COVID-19 test results. A few key people were not on the show. Several backstage executives, including Vince McMahon, were not backstage at the show. It was different. And we even had the return of a WWE Hall of Famer on this show. So let's get to this recap. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I hope you all had a great holiday weekend. And now we move along the final week of the year. Raw kicked off with rkbro, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. And Riddle was very festive. He had a New Year's hat. They cut a promo. Riddle said he had a card for Randy Orton. And he talked about how last week when he was absent from Raw, he was becoming like a viper. He was turning green. He was growing scales. Orton was not amused by any of this as usual. He had footage shown on the production truck, and Riddle wanted to know, what is a production truck? Then, after the footage was shown from last week, Riddle started talking about how Otis eats a ton of burritos. Otis and Chad Gable arrived. Gable cut a promo, talked about having his master's degree, and people in Detroit would not know anything about higher education. And then Riddle said that he is a man of higher education and said that he'll beat Gable in a match. Gable accepted the challenge, and then we had our match. DJW sent in a $2 super chat, says, nice living room, Aaron. Well, it's not mine, but thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Back to the match here. We had Chad Gable. He got some offense here. He went for a moonsault, but Riddle caught him, put in a triangle submission. Gable was able to counter that into an ankle lock. It went back and forth a little bit, and then Riddle hit a running knee, hit the floating bro, and picked up the victory. Match was good, but pretty short. Only a couple of minutes, maybe one segment of Raw. And then after the commercial break, we had Randy Orton versus Otis. Orton attempted the RKO early. Otis hit a splash, got the upper hand for a while. Riddle went for another RKO attempt, but he got sent to the outside of the ring. Otis charged at Orton, but Orton sidestepped him. Otis went into the ring post, and then Orton got him back in the ring. Orton eventually got the win with the RKO. And after the match, Riddle talked about how proud he was of Randy Orton. He just wanted the best present a guy could ask for from his best friend. A big, beautiful hug. And he said he would not tell anybody about this hug. Orton did give him the hug and even teased an RKO, a little fake out for Riddle just to mess with him. Crowd was very happy about this, and it was a good segment. They did the back-to-back singles matches with the same people out there at ringside, but it was fine. It was a nice little start to the show with these guys to set up the tag match on Saturday's pay-per-view, WWE Day 1. Oofman says, typical pick on the fat guy because he is fat. Well, yeah, just the Vince McMahon toilet humor, the jokes about guys eating burritos and all that stuff. Seems like something that Vince McMahon would find very amusing. Hence, they put it on television. We had Kevin Owens interviewed backstage, and footage was shown of a Big E promo He was on his cell phone at his home. Now, keep in mind that not everybody that missed Raw missed it because they had COVID. It's possible that some of them were exposed to COVID. And the hope is that everybody will be cleared in time for the WWE Day 1 pay-per-view. Remember that a lot of these positive test results came in last week, and 10 days or whatever should be enough time for them to be cleared. Of course, now the CDC is saying that after 5 days, people can get out of isolation or whatever. It's looking like most people will be at the Day 1 pay-per-view, and WWE went about business as usual, other than the key guys were not there on the show. And real quick, after I'm done here tonight, over on the Jeff Meacham Network, Jeff will be back for a live stream recapping Raw, talking about the latest news in wrestling. Make sure you guys check that out. Gary Joe says, man, this show made me get more of a headache than I actually had. But he says he's here to support No DQ. I appreciate that, Gary Joe. We had Reggie and Dana Brooke up against R-Truth and Tamina. Filler match. I guess the positive thing to say would be that at least it was different from the usual backstage running around segment. They had a match, but I really did not care much about it, since I do not care about the 24/7 division. Reggie pinned R-Truth, and that was that. Not much to say about it. After the match was over, Tamina was upset that R-Truth lost, and he managed to avoid Tamina's wrath, and that's about it. Not much else to say. We had a backstage promo from Nikki Ash. Nikki, almost a superhero, talked about how she has inspired Rhea Ripley even though she's been down on her luck, and she challenged Zelina and Carmella to a rematch for the tag team titles. We had a video package for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, their whole storyline heading into the Day 1 pay-per-view. And then we had the Street Profits versus the Mysterios. And to respond to Darren, who's going to beat Dana Brooke for the title, it could be anybody. It could be a guy. I know they're acting like the guys are gentlemen. They're not going to do that, but it could literally be anybody, and I don't know who it's going to be, and I really don't care. So we're going to move on here. We're going to talk about the Street Profits versus the Mysterios. You had rkbro backstage watching the monitor from their sideways position, as we see on every WWE show. Pretty good match here. This was the final of the rkbro tournament that was delayed like 2 weeks due to a reported injury. Montez Ford was apparently hurt, but he was back on this show. Dawkins counted a 619, hit a spinning elbow, and then Ford broke up a pinfall attempt. Ford tagged in and hit his big frog splash, but Dominic broke it up. Then a 619 was hit to Ford. Dominic hit a big frog splash, but Ford was able to kick out of that. Mysterios were going to hit a double 619, but Dawkins grabbed Rey Mysterio, pulled him out, and then Dawkins picked up Dominic on his shoulders, and then Montez Ford came off the top with a super avalanche blockbuster, picked up the win. Street Profits now going on to WWE Day 1 to face rkbro. And Gary Joe says, sorry, I'm very tired of this same old, same old. Why not push some different tag teams? Oh, yeah, they just release them. Yeah, that's the way it is. But, hey, Street Profits get the opportunity. Should be a good match on Saturday. I'm not really complaining too much about the match. I think it'll be fine. It is what it is. It's the same 3 or 4 tag teams, but at least, you know, you'll get a good match, right? We then had AJ Styles and Omas, which was supposed to be a match on this show. We had a video package, but then Styles came to the ring And apparently Omos was not there. Now, apparently behind the scenes, Omos had flown into Detroit. He did compete against AJ Styles at Madison Square Garden on Sunday night, but he did not appear on Raw. He was apparently flown in and then he went home. Who knows what happened here, but Styles cut a babyface promo. He was getting cheers. He said that Omos's dues will be paid to him. Styles said that he has 20 plus years of experience and he has seen giants come and go, but there's only one phenomenal one. We then had Grayson Waller show up. He was at ringside. Styles said that Grayson Waller is another guy that does not want to pay his dues. Styles invited Waller into the ring. Waller got a mic, said that he felt that since Styles appeared on NXT, Grayson Waller would appear on Raw. I guess that's how it works. And he said he is going to take Styles' spot after Omos gets through with him. Styles said that Waller is not a star, and he was probably right because the crowd was chanting what at Grayson Waller. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz then interrupted, and Aziz actually talked. Aziz said since Omos was not there and Styles was going to face a giant, why not Styles versus Aziz? Aziz issued the challenge. AJ Styles accepted. And when we came back from the commercial break, we had AJ Styles versus Apollo Crews. They just changed the match after the commercial break to AJ Styles versus Apollo. Alrighty then. Whatever. Marquand 1976 sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, WWE will try to cancel Aaron's shirt, LOL. Nah, I really don't think they care at this point, to be honest with you. They're too busy counting their money. DJW with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Monday Night Raw match, SP versus rkbro, pretty much. I do think that'll be a good match at the pay-per-view. Now, granted, it might be the kickoff. Who knows? Well, it'll probably be Nakamura's match, but really, Nakamura and Sami Zayn should be on the main card. Street Profits versus rkbro should be on the main card, and I expect both of those matches to be really good if they're given time. And TJS says, classic bait and switch by WWE. Yeah, this was really weird that they would just change the match during the commercial break, but whatever. Anyways, this was a good match between these guys. Was not too bad. And Apollo dominated early. Styles made a comeback. Went for the phenomenal forearm, but Aziz pulled Apollo to the outside. Crews then hit a DVD on the apron. Styles kicked out of that. And then Styles picked up the win with the Styles Clash. And Aziz got in the ring, was going to attack Styles, but Styles escaped. Then you had Aziz turn his back to Styles. He checked on his fallen buddy, Apollo. Styles hit the phenomenal forearm on Aziz and took him down. And Styles got the best of both guys. So there you go. Styles was a total babyface here. And I guess if and when Omos returns, Omos will be the heel. Not sure what the deal is. This was very strange that Omos was nowhere to be found on this show, especially when he was at Madison Square Garden. Really, really strange turn of events here. But yeah, they did not deliver on the advertised match, and then they announced the match and then did a different match from that second match. Very bizarre. Darren says Grayson Waller looks like Zack Ryder 2.0. And Gary Joe says they don't think, quote, we pay attention. Well, you may be right on that, Gary Joe. I like to try to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt since they had to change things due to the COVID positives. But yeah, what wasn't a very good rewrite in my opinion. And this segment definitely showed that they really just went out there last minute trying to come up with something. We had Carmella accepting the tag team title match, and she took some shots at Nikki Ash, saying how almost doesn't count, and they will definitely retain the titles whenever they have their match. We had a cell phone promo from Seth Rollins. He was not there, and Seth Rollins did mention on Twitter that he was having a Merry COVID Christmas, but he's the only guy that has commented on the absence from WWE television, and he mentioned that. We had Kevin Owens come to the ring for a promo, and he said that he was feeling very festive. He said that he won the main event at Madison Square Garden, but told people to not look it up. And spoiler, he lost to Edge, but Owens here cutting the little heel promo and said he was the only one of the 4 that actually showed up to Raw. He does not know why, though. I guess Kevin Owens doesn't read the internet. MVP interrupted and said it's going to take a lot more than a power bomb to stop the almighty Bobby Lashley. And basically MVP said that his man Bobby Lashley will regain the title at the pay-per-view. And then we had the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric the Entertainer Alexander showing up. And Owens basically knew what was going on, that they were just trying to reform the Hurt Business, get everybody reunited. And MVP, he said he would at least give them an opportunity. And he had Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander go to the ring. Cedric had a match against Kevin Owens. Pretty straightforward match here. Owens got the win with the stunner. And then afterwards, Shelton Benjamin got in the ring and he said, and I quote, "Give me a goddamn microphone." And before he could say anything, wham, he got hit with a stunner by Kevin Owens. Somebody on Twitter said that this match went 3 minutes and 16 seconds between Owens and Cedric Alexander. And that's pretty funny if that was the case. I don't think that they would have done that on purpose. It would be pretty much impossible to time it. But yeah, 3:16 and then a stunner gets hit to Shelton Benjamin afterwards. By the way, I just posted the Raw poll. That's why I kept looking down for anybody wondering. DJW sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I love how Owens pretty much said, wait a minute. And the poll just popped up right when I was trying to read the super chat. Botch. All right, let me see if I can get that super chat back up here. DJW said, I love how Owens pretty much said, cut the shit. We all know it's going to turn into a one-on-one match. Of course he was right. LOL. Well, I still think we're going to get the Fatal 4-Way at the pay-per-view. But yeah, the whole idea that he's like, I have no idea why the other guys aren't here. I mean, I guess in kayfabe terms, he doesn't know. WWE technically did not announce anybody was absent due to COVID. Actually, at the house show, they did say that people were not there due to COVID-related issues. They did say that at the house shows. But technically, the house shows don't count except for when they do. The whole thing's confusing, but whatever. So moving on here, we had a video package to hype up Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Seth Rollins, he's got COVID. Becky Lynch, she might have just been exposed, and as a precaution, they kept her off the show. But regardless, Becky was not there, so they did the video package. They showed the footage of Liv Morgan as a kid, her as a child with the dream to become a WWE superstar, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, this was probably better than what they would have actually done if both of them were there on the show. They probably would have done either another awkward promo segment or they would have done some kind of match where Becky lost in a non-title match. Probably not with Becky, but I feel like this was better than what they would have actually done. Just saying. And then we had Damian Priest versus Dolph Ziggler for the United States title. Priest had a pre-match promo where he said that if he gets disrespected, he gets this blind rage and it takes control over him. And there's nothing that anybody can do to stop him. So we had the match. Ziggler was pretty much dominated by Priest. Ziggler got sent over the barricade. Priest hit the broken arrow in the ring, but Ziggler kicked out. Ziggler started to make a comeback, but then he slapped Damian Priest. And that was a mistake. That set off Priest. Priest got angry, blind rage. He kept punching Ziggler. He punched him in the corner, did not break the referee's 5 count, and got disqualified. Then, for good measure, Priest hit Ziggler with the reckoning on the floor. Hey, you never lose the IC title if you get DQ'd or counted out. That Damian Priest, maybe this is all done on purpose. Maybe this is all BS. And this is Priest's way of holding on to his championship. That would be quite the swerve if this was all an act by Priest to keep his title and say, yeah, I have issues where I snap and I cannot control myself, but it's all calculated and he's doing it on purpose to keep his championship. But yeah, this whole storyline kind of sucks right now. We'll see if they make it work, but yeah, the babyface Damian Priest keeps losing his cool and getting DQ'd, counted out, so on and so forth. I just think it's not working. TJS says Priest has lost his cool factor. Cringe. Yeah, kind of agree with you on that one. And then we had our main event segment, which was not a match, but rather the renewing of the vows between The Miz and Maurice. We had the return of Eric Bischoff. Last time we saw Bischoff, we actually saw him in a WWE setting earlier this year. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Before that, he made a few appearances in AEW. Maybe he made one since the Hall of Fame induction. I don't remember, but Bischoff was back on Raw, first time in a while. He was the officiant, and I feel like he got a canned pop. I'm not sure. It kind of sounded fake. This was a pretty good crowd in Detroit. I was not there, had no intentions on going, but they did draw a pretty good crowd, all things considered, with the Omicron variant. They still drew close to 10,000 people, I think. Pretty respectable crowd, even some people in the upper deck. Bischoff came to the ring, and he talked a little bit, said that they respect the sanctity of marriage, which of course is the most absurd thing ever because no WWE wedding has ever gone right. He got a few what chants, and then he introduced The Miz. Miz stumbled a little bit walking up the steps to get into the ring, and he totally played it off. Miz did a great job here. Then we had Maurice come to the ring, and then we had her saying her vows. She got heavily booed by the fans. Miz then recapped his 2021. He took some shots at Detroit, and he did his vows in French, but he kind of screwed it up. He was saying his words wrong, and then I guess, according to Maurice, a couple of his words were in Spanish. Maurice, though, did say yes, that she would stay married to The Miz. And then Eric Bischoff had the line that everybody hears every wedding. If there's anybody out there that objects, but then he was like, you know what? Everybody knows how this is going to turn out. And sure enough, right on cue, Edge's music hit. Edge came into the ring. And Edge said he was not there to ruin anything. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Because Edge said that he was going to beat Miz's ass at the pay-per-view. And Miz knew that Edge was going to be there, try to ruin things. He started kissing Maurice. They were making out. and Edge told them to get a room, said he's going to embarrass the Miz. Miz started to freak out, but then Edge said he was just kidding. But then he said, are they having a white wedding? What's going on here exactly? Then we had Gangrel's music hit, the Brood's music. The lights went out. Edge left the ring, and we had not a bloodbath because that's not PG. We had the Brood bath with the black goo coming down onto Miz and Maurice and their white outfits. Well, Miz was wearing like an off-white color. And yeah, they got splattered in the bloodbath, and Edge got the final laugh heading into the pay-per-view. DJW sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Miz's facial expressions while speaking French and Spanish were very entertaining. Besides that, a very cringy and lame ending to Raw for a go-home show gives it a C-. Fair enough, DJW, and thank you again for the super chat. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate it very much. He says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, No DQ Galaxy. Where does the Miz Vow segment rank versus all wedding segments? Pretty low for me. Best is the Macho Man and Liz. The thing that was good about Macho Man and Elizabeth was not the ceremony, but what happened afterwards, and that did not air at SummerSlam. This was okay. I mean, it did not take up too much time, and I was actually pretty entertained by it. Miz was entertaining. Maurice was entertaining. Bischoff was entertaining. Edge came down. Yeah, it was predictable. They did the Gangrel segment, which I thought was fun. I'm always a mark for the Gangrel references and doing the Brood stuff. I liked it. I thought it was the best thing on Raw, actually. I liked it better than the wrestling. So there you go. The Game is on 100 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It says, the Miz and Maurice vow renewal seems similar to Ziggler and AJ Lee's segment from the last Raw of 2012 with Edge in John Cena's place. I mean, yeah, these segments tend to be very predictable and you kind of know what's going to happen, but I enjoyed it. I will admit that I did enjoy the segment, and I thought it was a fun segment. I thought it was better than the Bobby Lashley and Lana segment from 2 years ago. I will give them that. All in all, I thought Raw was okay. I'd probably go with a C+ for the show. You did have some good wrestling. You did have some filler segments, and it was a weird show because of the circumstances with people being pulled due to the COVID-19 issues, and apparently only half of the producers that usually work Raw were there this week. I cut them a little bit of a break, but it still wasn't a great show or anything. It was okay. I liked the wedding thing. If it's your cup of tea, if you like the wedding segments, I feel it's worth checking out. And as far as matches go, the matches were pretty solid on the show, but nothing that was, all-time classic or anything. Alex sent in a very generous $10 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. He says, off the WWE topic, kind of, but do you think it would be cool if Cody started a legacy type of faction in AEW? If and once he goes heel, could you see it possibly happening? I don't think Cody Rhodes is going heel. I think he's doing the John Cena thing. He is Cody Rhodes, take him or leave him, and the crowd's reacting split to the guys. Some people are booing him, some people are cheering him. I don't think he's going to change anything. I think he's going to do what he's been doing. It's working. He's getting the reactions from the people, whether it's cheering or booing. They're making noise. So what Cody's doing, hey, it's fine right now. I don't think they're going to change anything. I don't think he really needs to form another faction. We got enough factions. He's already got his faction, the Nightmare Factory. Not necessary. By the way, Michael Wayne is back. Hope you're doing well, Michael. And he did point out there's no SmackDown recap. They're not even doing a SmackDown episode this week. They're going to do a best of 2021. And again, make sure you guys check out Jeff's live stream over on the Jeff Meacham Network. Just search for it on YouTube. You'll find it. Jeff Meacham Network. He'll be going live. And tomorrow night, after NXT, we will be doing live predictions for the WWE Day 1 pay-per-view. So about 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Pacific time, we will be doing our predictions for the WWE Day 1 pay-per-view. That will be after the NXT episode. Now, looking at the chat room, in the poll, very mixed bag here. 27% thumbs up, 18% thumbs down, 25% thumbs middle, and 30% did not watch. So yeah, very, very mixed opinions of the show. Looking at some of the letter grades here. D- from Darren. Ouch. Lars gives it an A-, says he doesn't mind the wedding segments once in a while. D. Martin V gives the show a B-. Walter Cruz says C+, but it's sympathy because of COVID. Mohammed with a B-, and CC Drink with a C. Michael Wayne with a C+. So that's it, everybody, for tonight. Thank you guys so much. And if you like the shirt, just another Monday night, nodq.com/merch. You can pick up a t-shirt. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week, your final week of 2021. I hope it's a positive one. And I will see you guys next time.